Let's get right into it. Number 10, you only use 10% of your brain. Ah, yes, the classic myth that makes you wonder what the other 90% is doing. Maybe knitting, maybe scrolling TikTok. For decades, schools casually dropped this little gem as if humans are walking around with supercomputers but only playing Minesweeper on them. Here's the reality, you use all of your brain. Every region has a job, from keeping your balance to remembering your embarrassing middle school dance moves. Brain scans light up like a Christmas tree even when you're doing something simple, like chewing gum while regretting your life choices. So where did this myth come from? Probably from early neuroscience experiments that misunderstood we don't know what this part does as this part does nothing. Spoiler, just because scientists couldn't explain it in the 1900s doesn't mean your brain was running on Windows 95 demo mode. The real kicker is how this myth fuels scam industries. Self-help gurus love to say, unlock the rest of your brain, as if you've got a hidden storage closet full of genius. Sorry to disappoint, but the only thing hiding in there is your brain constantly keeping you alive, which feels like a pretty solid use of resources. Number 9. Blood is blue without oxygen. Remember those diagrams in your science textbook? Red blood equals oxygen rich, blue blood equals oxygen poor. Your teachers made it sound like you were basically a two-tone human Gatorade. Here's the truth bomb. Your blood is never blue, it's always red. The shade just changes depending on oxygen levels. Bright red when oxygenated, darker red when it isn't. So why the confusion? Veins look blue under your skin because of how light penetrates and scatters through layers of tissue. It's basically an optical illusion, not a biology lesson. But of course, it was easier for teachers to say, yeah, your blood is blue until it hits air, which is like saying bananas are straight until you peel them. This myth has been around so long that people actually argue about it at family dinners. But trust me, if your blood ever turns genuinely blue, you don't need a biology class, you need an ambulance. Number 8. Shaving makes hair grow back thicker. The first time you shaved, you probably got a warning. Careful, it will come back thicker and darker, which sounds less like biology and more like a curse from a witch in a Disney movie. Here's what really happens. When you shave, you cut hair at the surface. That blunt tip makes it feel stubbly, like a cactus pretending to be a beard. But the thickness, color, and growth rate of your hair? Totally controlled by your hair follicles and hormones, not your razor. The myth spread because people confuse appearance with biology. Freshly shaved hair looks thicker because the blunt ends stand out more. But the hair itself isn't actually growing faster or denser. It's the same old hair, just giving you the middle finger for shaving it in the first place. If shaving truly made hair grow thicker, bald guys everywhere would have solved their problem with a Bic razor decades ago. Instead, they're still waiting for the mythical reverse alopecia shave that science stubbornly refuses to deliver. Number 7. Carrots give you night vision. Somewhere along the way, kids got told, eat your carrots and you'll see in the dark. Which sounds awesome, like unlocking Batman's DLC pack just by raiding the fridge. But unless you plan on raiding Gotham, the truth is far less exciting. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A. And yes, vitamin A is crucial for eye health. Without it, your vision does suffer. But eating mountains of carrots won't suddenly give you owl-level night vision. It'll just give your skin an orange glow that screams discount spray tan. So why the myth? During World War II, British propaganda spread the idea that their pilots had superhuman night vision thanks to carrots. In reality, they had radar technology, but telling kids radar wins wars doesn't get them to finish their vegetables. So carrots got the PR campaign of a lifetime. The takeaway: eat carrots for healthy eyes, sure. Just don't expect to be prowling around like Riddick with glow-in-the-dark retinas. Number 6. Gum stays in your stomach for 7 years. Ah, the fear-mongering legend of playgrounds everywhere. Swallow a piece of gum and boom, it sets up camp in your stomach until you graduate college. In reality, your digestive system isn't a lazy landlord. Gum does pass through, mostly intact because it's made of synthetic rubber that resists digestion. But 7 years? Number, more like a few days, tops. So why does this myth linger? Because parents needed a quick way to scare kids into not swallowing gum. It's easier to say, it will stay in there forever, than to explain digestion in detail. And it worked. Kids pictured a sticky gumball just chilling in their stomach like a permanent house guest. The only time gum is an actual issue is if you swallow an insane amount or if you mix it with other indigestible objects, looking at you, coin-eating kids. Otherwise, it will exit the usual way, not with a time capsule ceremony 7 years later. Number 5. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Ah, yes, the myth designed to ruin every satisfying pop you've ever done. Teachers love this one. Don't crack your knuckles, you'll get arthritis. Spoiler, no, you won't. The sound you hear isn't bone grinding, it's gas bubbles in your synovial fluid collapsing. Basically, you're turning your joints into tiny bubble wrap. Multiple studies, even long-term ones, have shown zero link between knuckle cracking and arthritis. At worst, you might get some temporary swelling or weaker grip strength if you're cracking like a maniac. The best part? One doctor even cracked the knuckles of only one hand for 60 years to test this theory. Result? No difference between the hands. He even won an Ig Nobel Prize for his dedication to petty science. So the next time someone gives you the arthritis lecture, just tell them your joints are auditioning for an ASMR channel. Number 4, sitting too close to the TV ruins your eyes. If you grew up in the 90s, chances are you were told to back up from the screen or you'll go blind. Meanwhile, those same parents now spend 6 hours a day with their eyeballs pressed against a phone like it's an emotional support flashlight. Here's the truth, sitting close to a TV might give you temporary eye strain or headaches, but it doesn't cause permanent damage. Your eyes don't suddenly decide, well, guess we're broken now, time to order glasses. The myth probably started back in the 1960s when color TVs sometimes emitted small amounts of radiation. Yeah, not great, but that problem was solved decades ago. Today, the only real side effect of sitting too close is looking like a gremlin squatting 2 feet from the screen. Eye doctors confirm, proximity isn't the issue, overexposure without breaks is. So instead of yelling at kids, maybe remind yourself to stop doom scrolling until 3 a.m. before handing out eye health lectures. Number 3, milk makes your bones indestructible. Drink your milk, it builds strong bones. That line has been parroted so many times it might as well be carved into every cafeteria wall. Yes, milk has calcium, and calcium is good for bone health, but the leap from good to superhero skeleton is where things go wrong. Studies show that while milk contributes to bone density, it's not some magical shield against fractures or osteoporosis. In fact, populations that consume less dairy often don't have higher fracture rates. Turns out, bone strength depends on a mix of things. Vitamin D, exercise, genetics, not just pounding 3 glasses of 2% with your PB and J. So why did this myth survive? Because dairy lobbying is as strong as the bones it claims to build. The Got Milk campaign wasn't just clever, it was basically a decades-long propaganda effort. Drink milk if you like it, sure. Just don't expect to be Wolverine when you trip over the coffee table. Number 2, you need to stretch before exercise. Every PE class had that one ritual: stand in a circle, touch your toes, hold an awkward quad stretch, and boom, you're ready to sprint. Except, not really. Static stretching before exercise doesn't prevent injuries or improve performance. In fact, it can slightly reduce your muscle strength in the short term, like asking your muscles to take a nap right before you need them to work. What actually helps? Dynamic warm-ups, movements that get blood flowing and joints loosened. Think jogging, high knees, arm swings, the kind of stuff that feels goofy but actually wakes your body up. Static stretching is more useful after exercise when your muscles are already warm and pliable. But schools kept teaching stretch before running like it was holy scripture. So generations of kids bent themselves into pretzels for no real reason, then wondered why they still pulled a hamstring during dodgeball. Number 1, your tongue has taste zones. Remember those diagrams in school showing your tongue divided into neat little zones? Sweet at the tip, salty on the sides, bitter in the back, sour somewhere in between? Yeah, that's about as accurate as saying your Wi-Fi only works in the kitchen. The truth? Your entire tongue can taste all the flavors. There are slight sensitivity differences across regions, but not the dramatic zone map your teacher drew on the chalkboard. The whole thing started because of a misinterpretation of a German study in the early 1900s. Someone mistranslated slight differences into here's a rigid tongue map, and science teachers just rolled with it for decades. Taste buds are scattered across your tongue like random sprinkles, each capable of detecting sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Yes, that's the savory one nobody mentioned until sushi got popular. So when you eat a burger, you're tasting it everywhere, not just at some magical salty corner. But the myth stuck because, let's face it, people love neat little charts. It's easier to memorize than explaining complex receptor cells. Unfortunately, it's also complete nonsense. So the next time someone points to the bitter zone of their tongue, just remind them their whole mouth is basically a flavor rave. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.